Good morning. It's Wednesday. It is the 18th of December. Temperatures this morning are mild compared to what they have been, but we have got some wicked weather on the way this weekend, Tom.
You do, yeah. Yesterday was trial. I drove down to near Chatham yesterday and came back in the afternoon storm.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
The afternoon storm.
Yeah, we had streamers coming in.
Just to that area, not through
all
Toronto.
the way into the GTA, actually, through Mississauga. There was snow when I got back last night.
Any snow through
at 6 o'clock. So anyway, it was fairly intense all the way from London, approaching London, all the way through. So it was an interesting drive.
Well, this morning we don't have to worry about snow, but this weekend we're going to have to deal with rain, freezing rain, ice pellets, and snow. We'll break it all down for you in just a few moments. Let's take a look at our current temperatures. It's not going to be very intense. Temperatures are actually going to warm up to above freezing for tomorrow, Tom.
That's good.
Like above zero.
That's good.
You should be
That's
thrilled.
only for a short time.
Couple days.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a potential for
Lots of hours of freezing rain.
for lots of hours. Just thought I'd slip that in.
Why do you set me up to say the bad news?
Well, I just thought I'd let you give out all the bad news.
Thanks. All right, well, travel was treacherous yesterday. The good news, roads are just wet, but there are some slippery sections I found on the QE when I was coming in, so just give yourself a little bit of extra time. Your long-range details are coming up, but first, Tom, those are lots of flashing lights.
There are.
It'll start off as rain on Friday, and then as temperatures get a little bit cooler through the overnight, we're going to get a brief shot of snow, and then there's that risk for prolonged freezing rain Saturday into Sunday. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's December the 18th. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic.
And I'm Tom Reynolds.
It's going to be another decent day today in the GTA. We saw, snow yesterday, but then once that ended, everything calmed down slightly.
It was a mess.
It was a mess in the morning, but today we are going to be seeing a little bit of sun. Let's start off by taking a look at our current temperatures, and it tracks through. So just keep that in mind if you do have travel plans.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting long range. You've got all the details coming up.
I do. It's not going to be a great weekend. Yesterday we saw some snow on the major roadways, causing traffic to do this. Everybody saw this snow yesterday morning. It wasn't very pleasant. We'll talk about your long range. We'll get into what details you can expect in a moment, but first, here's Tom. All right, well, it is going to start on Friday, but I do want to set it up by showing you this low that cruises over us tonight and into tomorrow morning, because this is the one that's going to be responsible for warming up our temperatures. We're going to be sitting nicely into that warm sector, so our temperatures bumping above the freezing mark. But that sets up for the next low to be moving through southern Ontario for Friday. Now, our temperatures are going to be around 2-3 degrees, so this is looking like mostly a rain event. Saturday into Sunday, however, a new low makes an appearance. Temperatures cool down behind the cold front associated with that first low, and we're going to be seeing the potential for some snow, rain, ice pellets, and freezing rain. And we could see a prolonged period of freezing rain. So if you are planning on Christmas shopping on Saturday, maybe do it before then, or do it Saturday morning before the freezing rain potential begins. We are going to stay hovering around the freezing mark, and that is why we are going to be seeing that variable precipitation throughout the GTA all weekend long. But by Monday, we start to clear out. We may even see some sun. Late season, but every bit as destructive. We'll tell you what's fueling this fire. Deadly landslides in Brazil in a 1-2 punch. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, if Atlantic Canada is in your travel plans today, you might want to check with your airline before heading to the airport. Snowfall and winter storm warnings, so I'll tell you more about that within the next 20 minutes. I'll also tell you about the system that has the GTA and the rest of southern Ontario in its sights and what it means for your last weekend before Christmas. Take a look at this. This is the second of 2 deadly slides. Drought is the reason for the spread of this massive wildfire in California. We'll take a look at our weekend forecast, the different types of precipitation we could see to really put a damper on the last weekend before the holidays officially begin. First, here's Tom with traffic. Hi there, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. It is going to be very busy here the next couple of days because we have a very significant system on the way for the weekend. Not just one low, but like 3 different lows starting pretty much tomorrow.
And the potential for some fairly nasty weather in those forecasts, so you'll have all the details coming up.
I will. Let's take a quick look at our current temperatures. We're looking at -2 through Toronto, but certainly not a huge amount. We are going to be seeing temperatures bump above the freezing mark for the next couple of days.
I'm going to go and buy some some boot spikes today.
You're going to need them this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I like to have them up at the cottage when I'm trying to stand up in freezing rain.
Right.
Not on the roof, but on the ground.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday it was very tricky to get around. Really messy driving conditions. Hasn't been great. Now, this morning the roads are faring a little better, but that's still not... I don't even know what I'm trying to say this morning. Tom, let's just talk about some delays.
It's early. And certainly she was up at 2 o'clock with her daughter, 2 in the morning.
Now, these are one of the types of forecasts that we kind of loathe here, just because the uncertainty with them comes with really the positioning of the warm front and the cold front. And when we're this far out, this is how it's playing out for now. And I'll show you that. So we've got, that was our yesterday's low. It's moving off to Atlantic Canada. We've got this new low moving in Thursday. That's going to be the one responsible for the 2 to 5 centimeters up through cottage country. It's also going to be responsible for warming up our temperatures. We're going to be in that warm sector. Behind it, we do have a cold front associated with it. It's going to pick up moisture from the next low moving through southern Ontario, primarily all rain throughout the day on Friday. Saturday is where things start getting a little tricky. The freezing line looks to be about north of Orangeville, so anywhere north of that it's going to be primarily snow, but south of that, just a fine line. We could see some ice pellets, rain, freezing rain, and snow. It gets more significant Saturday overnight into Sunday. It's going to be an absolute mess for shopping this weekend. Do you remember last year? Do you remember every Friday during the winter months, Kevin Yard was in a different location? He was in Timmins. Usually it was somewhere really cold and snowy. Well, this year, again, he's partnering with Ontario Travel, and starting this Friday, he is going to be at Mount St. Louis Moonstone, and they're going to be opening up early to really let everybody get a head start on the ski season. And this Friday, if you bring in a non-perishable food item, you get to ski for free. Now, you have to arrive before 8:30. All the proceeds go to the Coldwater Food Bank. So such a wonderful cause. Kevin Yard's going to be there. Maybe he'll strap on a pair of skis. We'll see how well he does. So tune in on Friday to watch Kevin attempt skiing. Maybe. Okay, if you're wondering how much snow is on the ground, because you're thinking, hey, you know what? I might go up there this weekend. Take a look. Some areas 1 to 5 centimeters, but most areas have at least 5 to 15, and some areas have above. We're looking at about 15 to 30 centimeters of snow on the ground. So I think a lot of people are geared up for skiing and boarding this year. Temperatures are staying cold. Areas further north seeing more snow this weekend. Areas a little bit further south could see some freezing rain, and I'll get to all those details coming up in your long-range forecast. Because it's Wednesday, it is time now for your weather IQ, and this week we asked, how much do you know about avalanches? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Wednesday. It is December the 18th. We're going to be very busy here at the Weather Network these next couple of days because we have got a wicked winter storm on the way for the weekend.
We do, and it's going to be interesting. Maybe some freezing rain in there, maybe
Absolutely.
a lot of accumulation, so we'll have to watch that. Chris Scott, one of our meteorologists, was saying could be nasty.
Comparing it to Ice Storm 98.
That's what he was doing, but I was saying to him, I think he's a bit of an alarmist, so I'll tell him that later.
God, I hope you're watching. All right. I don't think that.
No.
I think you're great.
No, okay. Well, I think you're great, too, but anyway.
Just a bit of an alarmist.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to go to Kevin. He's in Toronto. And Kevin, warmer temperatures this morning, but you can still see your breath. Why aren't you wearing your toque? Thanks, Kevin. All right, I'll break down your long range in just a few moments, but first, here's Tom with traffic. The first low is the one that Kevin was just mentioning, the one that's going to go to the north of us this afternoon, this evening, and throughout the day tomorrow. It's the one responsible for warming us up. We'll get into the warm sector just beneath that warm front. Once the cold front comes in, temperatures cooling slightly, and then the next low moves in for Friday. This one is going to be primarily all rain for us. We are going to be seeing temperatures a few degrees above the freezing mark. Now, what's going to happen Friday overnight and into Saturday, we'll see a bit of a lull. Temperatures are going to cool down, and then we're going to see an initial shot of snow. The bad news with this system is that we could see prolonged periods of freezing rain. That is the heads up. It all is going to be front dependent, so we're really going to see where we sit in terms of the warm front and the cold front. If we are south of it, we could definitely see some freezing rain potential. If we are north of it, it's going to be an all snow event. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday. It's the 18th of December. You have less than a week. Today is a week away from Christmas Day. Christmas morning. And this time next week, kids are going to be going crazy.
And 2 days, we have got winter happening.
Once again.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 days.
Yes, 2 days.
No, 2 days. It's officially winter,
I
isn't
know,
it?
the 21st, but I'm just saying that it's happening again throughout southern Ontario because
I know. We just keep on getting nailed and nailed and nailed. And yes, the kids will be happy about Christmas.
They're going to be thrilled.
My granddaughters just saw me yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
They just cracked me up.
Oh.
Yep, they're a hoot.
Well, Kevin joins us this morning at a very festive place. He's at Castle Loma. And Kevin, as I understand correctly, some of the choir people are actually trained opera singers. Is that correct? I think most people would, Kevin. Unless you're a trained opera singer, you will not even come close. All right, the long-range details are coming up in just a moment, but first, here's Tom. It looks messy. We're calling it the series of 3 lows. We've got the first low moving in today to the north of us. This is the one responsible for warming up our temperatures. We're going to be sitting in that warm sector. It's going to bring a few centimeters of snow to areas just north of Barrie, so around cottage country. It tracks its way east. The cold front cools down our temperatures briefly, giving us a brief shot of snow and then a transition to rain. Temperatures are going to stay above the freezing mark throughout the day on Friday, so we're looking at an all-rain event. And then on Saturday, a new low pushes in, and this one is really going to be the kind of bulk of the moisture. This one's larger, widespread. It's really going to be track dependent on whether we see snow or a prolonged period of freezing rain, and we're going to have more details on this coming up. Take a look at this. This is the second of 2 deadly slides. Drought is the reason for the spread of this massive wildfire in California. That's devastating news. All right, we're going to join Kevin Yard this morning. He is live in Toronto at Castle Loma. Beautiful structure. He's listening to some amazing singing. And Kevin, it's all about the festivities this holiday season, isn't it? Thanks for joining us on the Weather Network. Every Friday from now until the end of winter, Kevin Yard is going to be pairing up with Ontario Travel to visit various locations throughout Ontario. And usually they involve snow and cold temperatures. Well, this Friday, he kicks it off, and he is going to be at Mount St. Louis in Moonstone. And this Friday, all you need to do is bring a non-perishable food item to ski for free. You need to be there before 8:30, and all the proceeds will go to Cold Water Food Bank. So check in with us this Friday and maybe see Kevin Yard attempt at skiing. All right, north of Barrie, lots of snow on the ground. We're seeing anywhere from 5 to 30 centimeters throughout that area and 30 above. So it looks good for hitting the slopes this weekend, and it looks as though you might see a little bit more snow this weekend, which I think a lot of people are going to be happy about. All right, because it is Wednesday, it is time now for our Weather IQ. We checked in to see how much you knew about avalanches. Take another look at this. This is the second of 2 deadly slides, and drought is the reason for the spread of this massive wildfire in California. And while it's late in the season, we'll continue to follow both of those stories here at the Weather Network. But first, we're going to join Kevin Yard. He is at beautiful Castle Loma this morning. And Kevin, apparently you've got a little tune prepared for us. Hi there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It's December the 18th. We are going to see potentially, I was going to say devastating weather, but it's only going to be devastating if you can't make it to that holiday party you were planning for the last 6 weeks or something.
You've been talking to Chris Scott, haven't you?
Tom.
Yeah, he was talking about major freezing rain.
The potential is there.
Of course.
The weather maps don't lie.
No, of course they don't. No.
Okay, the potential is there for some rain, some snow, some freezing rain, some ice pellets. It's not going to be a good weekend for travel. We've got more details coming up.
Everything.
In just a little while. Let's join Kevin. He's at Castle Loma. And Kevin, your singing abilities on that last hit were quite good. A little jingle bell action.
No, they weren't. Ba-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Angel, youth, and zero. La-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Kevin, like he has no idea what the words are. All right, I would like to thank Jane for sending in this great shot from Parry Sound. Look at all of that snow. Wow, Parry Sound, one of the hardest hit areas throughout southern Ontario because of lake effect these last couple of weeks. Talk more about the messy system this weekend, but first here's Tom.
If you're going to sit in Santa's seat, bring back presents. Right now, let's go and have a look on the highways.
The first low is going to move across today. This is the one bringing snowfall through parts of cottage country. It's also the one responsible for warming up our temperatures to above the freezing mark for tomorrow and into Friday. The cold front will cool down our temperatures momentarily, give us an initial shot of light snow and then rain throughout the day on Friday. The next big low that's moving in through southern Ontario is going to be Saturday into Sunday, and this is the one that has the potential to bring us prolonged periods of freezing rain. It's really going to depend on the track of the system. If it's to the south of us, that's where we could see the freezing rain. To the north, could be all snow. Hi there, good morning. We are really starting to break down the system that's happening this coming weekend. It's Wednesday today. It's December the 18th, and by Friday you're going to be thinking, ugh, can it be Wednesday again?
Well, a lot of people are going to be making a move this weekend.
I know.
A lot of people, I'm going to be off for the next couple of weeks coming up this weekend. So heading up north, things like that. So a lot of people are doing the same thing. So it's going to be a big travel time. So this could be a major incident. We're
talking about snow, rain, freezing rain, and ice pellets, all of the above. Yeah, it's not going to
give us everything.
Why not?
Why not?
Weekend before Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about your long range in a moment. First, let's check in with Kevin. He's at beautiful Castle Loma this morning. And Kevin, you've been hanging out and trying your best to sing along with the carolers. How's that going? Well, it's not bad, Kevin. Actually, you can carry a tune, I think. All right, Jane sent this picture in from Parry Sound, Ontario. That's a lot of snow, Jane. Parry Sound has been hit dramatically hard over the last couple of weeks with lake effect snow. We're seeing some bands north of the city right now as well into the Owen Sound area and in through Barrie. We'll talk more about your long range, what to expect this weekend in a moment. But first, Tom, don't pretend Kevin's awful, because he's not awful.
Why do I keep on hearing a dog howling in the background? Anyway, okay, let's go and have a look and see how we're doing.
Messy, yeah, that's one word we could use. Dramatic, yes, that's another one. We've got one low moving across later on this afternoon and through the overnight. We're going to sit nicely in that warm sector. That is where our temperatures are going to bump up above the freezing mark. This low is going to continue to track its way east. We'll see the cold front sweep through southern Ontario, dropping our temperature slightly. We're going to see an initial slide of snow and all rain throughout the day on Friday. That's the above seasonal temperatures. And then on Saturday and into Sunday, new low moves in through the lower Great Lakes. This one has the potential to either bring us a lot of snowfall or a lot of freezing rain. Details just ahead. Take another look at this. This is the second of two deadly slides, and drought is the reason for the spread of this massive wildfire in California. We have a significant winter storm on the way to southern Ontario this weekend. We could see prolonged periods of freezing rain. The potential is there for about 12 hours, Saturday into Sunday. Now, I'm going to have more details on that coming up in just a few moments. But first, we're going to join Kevin Yard. He is at Castle Loma this morning. And Kevin, such a beautiful spot to be during the holiday season, isn't it? Take another look at this. This is the second of two deadly slides. Drought is the reason for the spread of this massive wildfire in California. We have got a significant winter storm on the way to southern Ontario this weekend. We'll see rain and snow, and the potential is there for prolonged periods of freezing rain Saturday night and into Sunday. So for holiday plans, for getting out, for shopping, going to parties, it's going to be a very, very tricky weekend. I'll talk more about that coming up. But first, we're going to join Kevin. He's at Castle Loma this morning. And Kevin, such a great place to be during the holiday season. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's the 18th of December. We've been talking about the snow north of the city potentially throughout the day today and into tomorrow. But for the most part, we've been really discussing the system that's going to hammer into us all weekend long.
And if everything except dust storms in this system, actually.
Pretty much.
Yeah. We don't have a dust storm, but everything else looks like it's in there. So it could be a rather treacherous drive this weekend. So a lot of folks are starting to head away for holidays. So stay tuned, because we'll be watching very, very closely.
Kevin Yard has been joining us this morning at Castle Loma. Such a beautiful spot to be during the holiday season. And Kevin, I have to admit, I think you can carry a tune. You can sing, can't you?
Okay. Where are we? La, la, la. Back inside you guys. I got to learn these lyrics. Keep going.
Yes, Kevin, it helps if you know the words. See, I just gave you a huge compliment and you ruined it. All right, Jane sent in this shot from Parry Sound. Look at all the snow. Yikes. If you want to be part of our morning program, upload.theweathernetwork.com for all the details. Here's Tom now with traffic. The first low moves in through Thursday. We're going to sit into that warm sector. That's where our temperatures bump above the freezing mark. By Thursday overnight and into Friday, that's when the precipitation starts off as snow with cold temperatures. By Friday morning, that's your commute. We're still going to be seeing an initial shot of snow, but some areas to the south could see a little bit of mixing. As the day goes on, it could transition to a rain-snow mix. Areas south of the front, areas north of the front, so say Orangeville and north, could be straight snow. And then the third low comes in Saturday and into Sunday. It is going to start as an initial shot of snow Saturday night, but then transition to freezing rain. And we could see a 12-hour period of freezing rain. Roads are going to be very treacherous this weekend for the last weekend before Christmas. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is December the 18th, and we've got quite the system on the way for the weekend. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, let's look at today. They're going to bring us all sorts of different types of precipitation. The first one moving through tomorrow. It's going to get us into the warm sector, so our temperatures bumping above freezing. By Friday morning, we're going to see our first initial shot of snow, and then it's going to transition depending on where you are. If you're north of the front, you're going to be seeing mixing and snow. If you're south of the front, you're going to see mixing and rain. That will continue throughout the day on Friday. By Friday, drive home, it's going to switch over to a shot of snow. That will continue throughout the overnight, throughout Saturday morning, snow, and then we see a lull in the afternoon, and then Sunday, that's where we could see a prolonged period of freezing rain. So make sure you stay tuned to the Weather Network for all the updates. Time for Weather IQ. Today we talked about avalanches. All the details just ahead. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is Wednesday. It is the 18th of December. Thanks so much for joining us. Lots to cover in a short period of time, so we're going to get right to it. We've got Kevin Yard. He is at Casa Loma this morning enjoying the holiday carolers and the festive Christmas trees. And Kevin, I have to tell you, I really like your hat today.
Jingle bells.
Thanks so much, Kevin. So much fun there this morning. Taking a quick look at the snow that's on the ground, a lot of areas have 15 centimeters plus, especially to the north. If you're skiing this weekend north of Barrie, if you're going to St. Louis, Moonstone, well, it looks pretty good. But we do have active weather on the way. We are going to be seeing an area of low pressure move through tomorrow throughout the day, and that's going to sit us right in that warm sector. That's going to be our warm up with the temperatures. By Friday morning, we're seeing snow. Friday throughout the day, depending on where you're located in terms of the front, you could be seeing a rain-snow mix or straight snow. We're talking north of the front could be straight snow. South of it, I mean like Oakville, Burlington, Mississauga, could be a little fine line mix, maybe some rain in there. By Friday night, everybody switches back over to snow as temperatures drop. We stay into snow for Saturday morning, and then the next system starts to move in. We'll see a bit of a lull in the afternoon. Saturday night and into Sunday afternoon, we could see a prolonged period of freezing rain. We're talking 12 hours. So this has the potential to be one of the messiest systems we've seen so far this year. Not great for holiday shopping, not great for holiday parties. So if you can do all of that before the weekend. I know you can't plan your holiday parties before the weekend, but at least get some of your shopping done. Temperatures after the weekend are going to be warm, cooling down slightly, but we'll see a little bit of sunshine come Monday.